Jackson on the drive, kicks it out for Man. Man, three-pointer, bang! Oh, what a man!
Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12, good!
Here's Michael at the foul line, a shot on Elo, good!
The Bulls win! They win it!
Now there's a steal by Murr, underneath the DJ,
Going up over Bell, ball away. Yes! Yes! At the buzzer, he does it! Was there ever a doubt? A Smith screen, Posey will defend. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
It's a physical game. Oh, real fun! A monster jam by Blake Griffin.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another post-game live here on Dime Dropper in the 2023 NBA playoffs. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on all platforms or subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper. Hit the notification bell so you know every single time I go live. You can also follow us on social media at Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at Dime Dropper Pod, live from Los Angeles after Game 2 of the Lakers and Warriors second round series, an absolute chess match of some absolute legends on the basketball floor. And then after going to be talking briefly, I didn't get to watch the fourth quarter, but the game was basically decided by then, of the Celtics-Sixers Game 2. Very low attendance tonight in the live, a little disappointing so far. We've been, doing bangers lately, but maybe Lakers lost and that's hurting the live. I don't know. Let's get on to it. The Lakers going into Chase Center, playing with house money. All they wanted to do was at least make the Warriors work for a victory. The Warriors, obviously, their season's basically on the line. They got to win, and it was the same situation as the Grizzlies Game 2 against the Lakers in the last round. The Warriors just wanted it more. I know that's cliche, but they came out with more energy, first every loose ball, playing with a sense of desperation. And one thing that's consistent about the Warriors when they have desperation mode, it's more get the ball to Steph and let him either spam pick and rolls or just kind of let him get into his bag offensively on the ball. But the first quarter actually was kind of a rocky start for the Warriors. LeBron, you knew he was due for a shooting night, a good shooting night from the outside any day now. And he was hitting a variety of shots to start the game. A little bit in transition, hit a couple of mid-ranges, hit some threes, hit 2 threes right away in the first quarter. Had like 5 points on Steph. There was a transition spin. He even hit a mid-range on a dime. Usually LeBron is a feet set guy when he's trying to hit the mid-range, but this is when he was on a dime. And when he's shooting on a dime, it's always going to his left where his shoulders are squared to the basket. But when he's shooting on a dime like that, that tells me, just knowing LeBron and having watched him play more than anybody in my life, that's when he's hot, when he's feeling himself with that jump shot. Because usually he'll try to set his feet because he knows he'll still be able to get it off at his size over just about anyone. And he was really feeling himself with 14 points in the first quarter. It was actually his first 10-point first quarter of these playoffs. But the adjustment made by Steve Kerr was JaMychal Green starting. That came out of nowhere. We've seen Jordan Poole start in these playoffs when Draymond was suspended in that Game 3, and that led to him starting for a couple more games. But JaMychal Green, a guy who hasn't gotten that much playing time this season. What's up, Jason? Shout out to Jason, the Warriors fan from up north. Got a lot of love for the Warriors fans up north, man. I think they're great. It's the Steph stands that really, I think, mud the waters of the beautiful waters of basketball discourse, I guess. But the adjustment to put JaMychal Green in the starting lineup was obvious. The reasons were obvious. You get a three-point shooter in there to spread the floor. So you only have one real non-shooter, and that's Draymond Green. And then you also now are not giving up as much size if you put in Jordan Poole. You at least have another guy that's 6'9" that can be in there and guard Vanderbilt and kind of just hide it in that sense. Because, I don't remember them putting JaMychal Green in the action that much. And when they did, I'm pretty sure he dropped. But as the Lakers, you don't want to put Jared Vanderbilt in that screen and roll much anyway because he's not that great catching the ball and making a quick decision. Anthony Davis is the guy that you want involved in that action, and that's what they were going to. But now, the Warriors made every adjustment besides the whole – I didn't expect JaMychal Green to start, but every single adjustment that I laid out damn near they made. I'm not saying I'm some genius or anything. Steve Kerr's a great coach. He's obviously going to do it. Draymond Green guarding Anthony Davis, more Steph Curry on the ball. What I didn't expect was to only play one big at a time, like only one non-shooter at a time. I thought he would still have Looney and Draymond play a couple of minutes together, but nah, that wouldn't be the case. It was just straight one big at all times that couldn't shoot. They always had a spacer out there, and that's what made the pick and roll with Steph really hard to guard. The Lakers were still in that shallow drop, and initially, I still think they came out with good energy. D'Lo was playing good defense, high effort from just about everybody, running guys off the line. Rui Hachimura came in and hit 8 points in the first quarter, and AD defensively was still sharp as can be, affecting tons of shots. So that led to the Lakers having, and by the way, the Warriors switched Steph Curry onto Reeves to start possessions, Klay on a D'Lo. But the Lakers actually led the Warriors 33-26 after one. So in that moment, I was like, man, the Warriors got to get it together. It's just hard because of Anthony Davis's presence, and then LeBron was getting going. But the second quarter and the third quarter were all Golden State. 41-23 in the second, 43-24 in the third, and that put the game in the fridge by the fourth. Immediately when Anthony Davis came out of the game, the Warriors went on a run. Immediately. Steph Curry was doing a great job with those pocket passes. And I will say this too. He was doing an amazing job just keeping the defender behind him, throwing like hezzies in there and just keeping his defenders guessing at all times. What makes it so hard to guard Steph Curry is you're so worried about his jumper because he gets an inch of space and it's pretty much going in. He gets an inch of space to get his shot off cleanly. It's pretty much going in. You really got to get into his body, try to stay attached, try not to get shifted. I think they're more. We talk about Steph not getting a good whistle. I think more of the contact that people get away with him is off the ball. I think on the ball it's not crazy. He gets, the hand check calls and the little body contact a decent amount, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I know if you're a Warriors fan and you see him just get hammered all the time, it's probably like, he gets no calls. I feel that way with Paul George. But I think off the ball, Steph gets brutalized a little bit more. This is my opinion because the refs aren't looking at that as much, even though, I don't know. With Steph, they just seem to let a lot of stuff go in that sense. But he was given a nice balanced attack. It wasn't just pick and roll. He and Klay were still doing a great job moving off the ball, keeping their defenders guessing because, of course, they were top blocking still, just like game one, the Lakers, but it wasn't working as well because now you don't have two non-spacers. If you have Draymond as the initiator, the whole paint's cleared. So you get a back screen, you cut back door. These things are open, and Draymond did find Klay and Steph on a couple of those back cuts. Jordan Poole even got a couple of layups in that second quarter. But Steph overall was making good decisions in the pick and roll. Nice pocket passes. A couple of times he passed it to the side, and then they passed it to the middle and got into the action. And Draymond Green was making really good reads and doing a good job on Anthony Davis. I thought Austin Reeves for the Lakers was pressing a bit. He had to obviously chase Klay around screens, and Klay, he just does such a great job moving without the ball and was so good all game long, knocking down the three ball. He seemed like he was making every single shot when he got just an ounce of room, and he was doing a lot of his work off the ball. It's amazing, as usual. It's amazing how Klay just is so good at making quick decisions, and just like Steph in that sense, he doesn't need any room really. He gets his shot up when he's in that kind of mode, when he's feeling it like tonight. There's not much you can do. And Austin Reeves, as solid of a defender as he is, it just feels like Klay's a lot bigger and can just still get the shot off. Even if Austin Reeves is second late, like getting over a screen or something, Klay's still getting what feels like an open look every time. Like it doesn't feel like Austin Reeves' contest is really there. And I thought Austin Reeves chasing Klay over screens and really trying to press, trying to foul bait a little bit. And you knew after the whole complaints about the Lakers foul disparity, that whole thing, that the Lakers foul disparity, the advantage, that the Warriors were going to get some makeup whistles tonight. And I thought that was, as a neutral observer, that admitted that I didn't think there was much wrong with the Lakers. I think there were some tough calls against the Warriors in game one, but there were some tough calls against the Lakers tonight. Absolutely some tough calls. But, I mean, it is what it is. You can predict that script. But Austin Reeves, I'm not saying those were all fouls, though, by the way, that he wasn't getting. Austin Reeves was doing a little bit of foul baiting. I just thought he was pressing. There was one time where he threw an outlet pass that was very risky. Steph Curry intercepted it, and I'm pretty sure Klay Thompson got a right wing three off of that. So the Warriors, it was very evident all game long, and most of their good work came in transition, working off of misses, pushing the ball, pushing the pace, trying to get transition threes for Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. A guy who I thought did a really good job in this game for the Warriors that we've needed to see. Well, I shouldn't say we, but if you're a Warriors fan, you needed to see this guy do something. Dante DiVincenzo. I thought he did a good job of attacking the paint. And a couple of times the Lakers were just flying by him and jumping at his shot fakes. And it's like, this guy's not shooting well in the playoffs. What are you doing? And he was getting 2 feet in the paint, making plays. Remember one time he had a little dump down. I forget if it was to Looney or to Jermichael. There's another time where he scored on a layup off that type of, getting run off the line. And then he also hit a 3. And his defense was really solid. Had a couple of hustle plays. And as I said in the beginning, the Warriors just seemed to outwork the Lakers. They just wanted this. In the first half, it was just Rui and LeBron with the majority of the points for the Lakers. When AD came in, they did restore order a little bit. Like the Warriors took the lead for the first time in that stretch without AD to start the second quarter. AD kind of restored order with LeBron. He hit this ridiculous bank shot, LeBron, to beat the shot clock going to his left. But as the second quarter ended, the Warriors really started to create separation, and it was starting to involve LeBron in the action. Just like I said, make him work on defense. There were a lot more times where they had whoever LeBron was guarding, Wiggins, or a lot of times it was Wiggins, going to set a screen or getting a screen for him to come off the ball, just making him run a little bit more. And when LeBron was put in the action, he wasn't doing a very good job. This was not a very good defensive game from LeBron. He was late to rotate a couple of times. A couple of times he didn't box out. And when he was put in the action, he was hedging, but not even hedging and recovering, just hedging and just staying out of the play, kind of just lagging, you could say. And with no 2 shooters out there, that made it so much more ground to cover. And the way Klay Thompson was also, even with the pick and roll going on, for example, like he'd be moving off the ball, coming off an exit screen. And one thing you also saw from the Warriors is a lot of their actions off the ball for Steph and Klay to come off screens were happening on the wing in game 1. Then the Lakers would top block and they'd have AD just sitting there disrespecting the guy with the ball and Draymond or Looney. Now in this game, I thought they did a lot more actions from them coming off the top of the floor, or the middle of the floor, I should say, coming from bottom to top. Like, for example, I remember Klay Thompson, I think it was in the first half. In the first half, Klay Thompson was starting underneath the basket, came under 2 screens, came over 2 screens. One was set by Steph. The other, I think, Draymond. Rui Hachimura was, late, just slow getting over them. And AD, I don't think he really expected it. He was late getting out there. Klay Thompson got a 3. So you got that middle of the floor with shooters around them, so the help is not as close. A lot easier to get good shots if you're the Warriors. And as far as offensively, I thought the Lakers were using Anthony Davis much more as a screener, not as much as an initiator. And we saw in the first game, they threw the ball to AD and said, get out of the way, go one-on-one against Kevon Looney. It seemed like Anthony Davis or the Lakers, whoever, I still think it's a stars league. If Anthony Davis wants the fucking ball and demands the ball, they're going to give him the ball. He didn't want any of that smoke one-on-one with Draymond. And Draymond was really showing why I consider him the best overall defender of this generation for what is needed, in the game. Rotations, snuffing out pick and roll coverages, being able to guard multiple positions. I think prime Draymond Green did that as well as anybody. And I think that the maturation of him, obviously Steph, but the maturation of him and him taking it to another level, his game to another level, is what really made the Warriors a championship team, more than anything, in my opinion. And, I'm not a guy that – I used to love Draymond. I just get annoyed with him. But I still am not going to, not be objective about the way he plays. He was fantastic tonight, guarding one-on-one, being really physical. And that's the key for the Warriors. If they can limit Anthony Davis, then that's it. They're probably going to win this series. I want to save the big themes of the episode for the end. So at halftime, the Warriors led by 11. But Jordan Poole was okay in the first half. Some bad shots, but also some buckets around the rim. And the Lakers were more careless with the ball. And AD, I think, only had 4 points in that first half. He was getting a lot of those same, one-handed push shots or foul line mid-ranges off the pocket passes that he was getting in the first game from Reeves, from LeBron, from D'Lo. Just none of them are going in. And you got to credit Draymond doing a really good job in drop, being able to play the ball handler and recover, get a hand up. But a lot of the shots, it's like AD can make those shots and was making those shots in the first game. But the third quarter was third quarter Warriors. A lot of Curry pick and roll, a lot of Draymond in the short roll, a lot of wide open threes, a lot of Lakers scrambling, and a lot of transition offense. The Lakers looked cooked in the second half. All those shots LeBron was making, he had no legs in the second half. Every single shot was short. Every single shot. And he wasn't moving really well on D. Austin Reeves looked cooked. Jared Vanderbilt, he had a nightmare game in this one, and I'll tell you why. His screen navigation was really poor. There were a couple times where he was just taken out of the play. His denial's awesome, but he's getting taken out of the play on screens a lot. And I think part of it is because they gave the Warriors a lot more leeway in terms of screen setting as well with Draymond Green. You know, everybody talks about the illegal screens being set all those years. I think there were some times where Draymond got a little push or a little hold in there, and it just set Jared Vanderbilt and various Laker defenders back a second. But that being said, you know, the Lakers seem to play the screens a little bit higher in that second half, more like a hedge as opposed to that high drop or that shallow drop, as you call it. And that was allowing Draymond Green to get behind and get into those 4-on-3 situations. Now, how is that happening? Well, Jared Vanderbilt's getting taken out on the screen. So now AD has to play two guys at once, and now you're forcing him to get out into space, which is exactly what I said the Warriors are going to try to do. The thing is, why the shallow drop kind of collapsed and stopped working, a couple reasons. One, as I said, Vando's getting taken out on the screen. Two, I think AD got really discouraged with the fact that he wasn't making shots, and his activity with his hands, his body language, his ball pressure was just not as alert, not as locked in. He was just kind of standing up a little bit more straight. He'd only have either one hand up or one hand in the passing lane, not using both hands. But part of it is you got to give credit to Steph Curry. He was really keeping him on his toes. There was one time where he was driving, I think he went behind the back, left to right, and then he pulled back between the legs. He had AD on his heels. And that, you know, you really get to see the brilliance of Steph Curry's handle at nights like these, man. He just has counters. I don't think he wastes dribbles. So many guys today waste dribbles. He is so deliberate to me with his handle. And part of it's because all he needs is this much daylight. He can put the shot up, and that's it. From anywhere on the floor. You know, it never ceases to amaze me. The guy that shoots so many threes still all of a sudden will take a mid-range out of nowhere, and it's cash. And I love the way he doesn't neglect any part of the floor. There are times in the regular season where sometimes I'll be like, Steph, like, take a mid-range, bro. Like, you've got that in your bag. Like, take the floater. And he just still circles around relocating for a three. But when it comes playoff time, he knows some of those relocation looks are not always going to be there. You got to take what's there when you're one of the greatest players of all time and you get a look at the basket. Because all you need is a look at the basket when you're Steph. So part of it was, yes, poor screen navigation from the Lakers, what seemed like more of a hedge as opposed to the shallow drop. But still, the Warriors, when they were able to make that pocket pass, part of it is the spacing. You know, the difference with JaMychal Green, credit to him, was able to knock down those corner threes, was able to cut to the basket when the Lakers defense was falling asleep in transition, get a dunk in that third quarter. And Steph Curry was also doing a really solid job of taking care of the ball. The amount of points that he created, amount of good shots that he created, whether on the ball, off the ball, hockey assist, I want to say about 27 to 28 of those buckets were created by Steph Curry. That's just an estimation. But the Warriors shot 50.5% from the field and 50% from three. So 40% from three the first night, 50% the second night. And, you know, I said, are they going to be able to shoot 40% every single game? Sometimes I got to remind myself, this is the Warriors we're talking about. These are some of the greatest shooters that we've ever seen play this game. The greatest with Steph. As far as if Klay's second or not, that all depends on what you consider shooting and how much you encompass. The reason why Steph Curry is the greatest to me is because it doesn't matter what kind of shooting you're talking about, really. It's only, he doesn't have a post fade. Big whoop. He's a guard. You know, comes off screens, off the catch, off the bounce, step back, you name it, from anywhere on the court. Long distance, short distance, corner. You know, he's the only player I've ever seen that just throws that shit up there. And sometimes it doesn't even look like he's looking at the basket. Just throws it up there and he's, it's good. It's unbelievable. So credit to the Warriors, credit to Steph, absolute like baller performance. But Klay Thompson too, like he was finishing his transition threes. And the defense for the Warriors just physical, alert. It was a championship kind of response. Andrew Wiggins also active on the glass. Draymond Green active on the glass. Remember, there was one time he went over the top of AD and tipped the ball to I think it was Poole underneath the basket. So Draymond, just an absolute masterclass from him. As far as the bench guys, you saw Dennis Schroeder. Thought he had some good defensive moments, but he was 0 for 3 and a couple of dirty plays, grabbing knees, turning the corner, going to his right. I was surprised he didn't get dinged for a flagrant on those. Those are actually dangerous plays. Troy Brown, 8 minutes. Donut, really quiet. Wenyen Gabriel, just those 3 minutes. Rui Hachimura, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 8 for 14 from the field, and 4 for 6 from deep. Really good offensively, but defensively was at fault for a couple of breakdowns and a couple of hustle plays where, he just got beat on the glass by a Draymond or a Looney. Looney didn't actually play that much, though, only 12 minutes, but he had 8 rebounds in those 12 minutes, 3 of them offensive. So finding a way to make his impact when he could, and he was rolling really well, setting really good screens. Both Draymond and Looney set fantastic screens tonight. But DiVincenzo, it's funny he didn't end up shooting well, but what a good game I thought he had. 8 points, 4 boards, 4 assists on 3 for 9 shooting, 2 for 8 from 3. Jordan Poole was a little quieter. He played less than DiVincenzo in this one, 16 minutes, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists on 3 for 6 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3. And Moses Moody, he's really athletic, man. He's pretty athletic. And I loved his activity on the glass and defensively and just his hustle. 10 points, 7 boards, 2 assists. See how many of those are offensive? Only 1 offensive rebound. 3 for 9 from the field, but 2 for 3 from deep. The Warriors outscoring the Lakers 43-24 in the third quarter, and the game was in the fridge after that quarter. So the Lakers just looked like they ran out of gas. But the Warriors, you got to give them credit for all the adjustments, putting LeBron in the action a lot more, and that was giving them a lot of good shots as well in that third quarter. LeBron, he just didn't have it in the second half, didn't have it defensively in this game. But Austin Reeves also cooked in this game. Just wasn't on it on either end. I think he just looked a little tired. He's been playing a lot of minutes, fighting Klay Thompson over these screens. When the Warriors push the pace, Lakers are in trouble. How do they push the pace? Get stops, create turnovers. They were able to do that. D'Angelo Russell, thought he was okay. 10 points. And his defense has been really good in these playoffs, honestly. Really using his body well, moving his feet, and it's always about effort. It's easy to hide 6'5" on defense, 6'5" with long arms. You just got to be engaged. D'Lo had 10 points and 8 assists on 5 for 12 shooting, 0 for 3 from deep. The Lakers shot 29% from 3. So, again, the Lakers not shooting well from downtown, but they're not a very good three-point shooting team. They shot 42.6% from the field. They still only turned the ball over 9 times. Warriors turned the ball over 15 times. But they were able to get the win 127-100 to tie the series at 1. Let's see. Talked about Schroeder. Talked about Troy Brown. Rui Hachimura. Austin Reeves, just 7 points, 3 for 11 from the field and 1 for 5 from deep. He was just struggling on both ends. I mean, look, this is his first time in the playoffs. He's playing against the champs. It's going to be he's going to have some tough games. You just got to try to not force it. Let the game come to him just a little bit more. And I think he will. I think he's going to have a good game in game 3, honestly. Jared Vanderbilt, it was a tough one for him. Just navigating screens was really difficult. I still think, keep him on Steph, but when he and Schroeder are in together, I think Dennis should probably be the one to guard Steph. I feel like he could just fight over screens a little bit better. That's what he's good at. Vanderbilt, though, is fantastic denying, and he does add length and size. But you let me know, Laker fans, what you think. If they're both in the game, who do you want as the primary defender, Vando or Dennis Schroeder? He had a tough one, and offensively just didn't look confident at all either. 2 for 7 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and the Warriors are going to keep letting him get the ball, keep letting him shoot shots. 6 points, 6 boards for him in 20 minutes. Then the stars, LeBron James. Really good first half, but defensively just wasn't fully there. And that's part of because the Warriors made him move. And they're going to continue to do that. Keep putting him in the action. Keep making him run around screens off the ball as well. He had 23 points, 7 rebounds. I think like 19 of those or 21 of those were in the first half. 10 for 18 from the field, 3 for 8 from deep. He just lost his legs. All the shots were short in the second half. But we got to have a conversation about number 3. 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 3 blocks. 4 of the 9 turnovers, 5 for 11 from the field, and 1 for 1 from the line. The Lakers were 10 for 17 from the foul line. That's just 59%, which is pretty abysmal. They still shot one more free throw than the Warriors, who shot 10 for 16 from the line, 62.5%. As far as the free throw misses, 1 for Vando, 1 for Rui, 3 for Tristan Thompson. That doesn't really matter. And Max Christie. So ignore those, honestly. Anthony Davis. This is what I always tell my boy Fabian, Perspect TV, who's in the chat. It takes, since the 2020-2021 season, I've noticed this, because 2020, he was pretty damn good every game. But Anthony Davis, a lot of times, like I want to say 75% of a season, and we've even seen that in the playoffs, he needs a bad game to be the best version of himself. It's like an every other game thing. He's like, oh, this game he's a beast, top 5 player in the league. Then he's like, okay, I'm just going to act like a totally different player tonight on both ends of the floor, especially offensively. Then the next game, he's back. He's a beast again. And that's just not what true superstar number one options do. And that's a big reason why I'm still hesitant to think that the Lakers can win the championship. I think they have a great chance of going to the finals, but it's because we don't have, this is not the same LeBron as 2020. And it's normal, man. He's like 38 years old. He was in year 17 then, before Solomon Hill, fell on his ankle. That changed a lot. Even though he still averaged 30 points, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. To me, if you really watched LeBron before that, it's a little different. You're going to get LeBron still being a beast. He's still going to have his great games. He's still going to be able to be a good closer, I think. But Anthony Davis, these games come down to him. They've always come down to him. It's all been about AD here in Los Angeles since he's arrived. When he is the best version of himself, the Lakers are extremely hard to beat. You are unlikely to beat them. And he's a top 5 player in the league impact-wise on both ends. Truth. But when he plays like this, well, then the Lakers can lose very easily. It all comes down to Anthony Davis. What do I think is going to happen in game 3? He's going to be dominant. The Lakers will probably win. It's insane. As far as the Warriors, let's see if I missed anybody off the bench. Talked about Poole. Thought he was all right. DiVincenzo, really good. Moody, really good. Let me check the plus minus and see if anything stands out. Nothing crazy. DiVincenzo plus 8. Kevon Looney plus 11. The starters, though, JaMychal Green only played 13 minutes and had 15 points. Talk about production. His presence really changed things. You got to credit Steve Kerr so much on that. I don't think any Warriors fan would have had that in mind. A lot of people were saying Kuminga, get some athleticism in there, but he had a guy who, by the way, I'm a huge fan of. I don't know how many dime dropper episodes that were where I had JaMychal Green involved. You have to go back to my glorified summer league episodes in 2020. But JaMychal Green was an awesome Clipper. He was really great in that 2019 season when we got him midway through it. And then in the 2020 regular season, he was a beast. In the playoffs, he was good until, what I called the second round curse at the time. Just he was under it and he started missing everything. I'm pretty sure he missed he missed a wide open fucking dunk in that, game 7 stretch where he just could not buy a basket. But tonight, and I was sad to see him leave to Denver. I truly was. But tonight he was awesome. So I'm really happy for him. Making the threes, especially in the beginning of the third quarter. 6 for 9 from the field, 3 for 6 from deep, 66% and 50 from 3. You'll take that all day. How about Andrew Wiggins? A really solid defensive game, a game high plus 35, 11 points, 4 boards, 4 assists on 3 for 8 shooting, 2 for 4 from deep. Nothing out of the ordinary, solid game, timely shots, but I think he can even be better. And then the big 3. They were just phenomenal. This is why they haven't lost any series together healthy since Kerr has taken over. Draymond Green was just spectacular. Both ends of the floor. Making his moves in the short roll. Taking shots. He hit a wide open 18-footer. He was actually looking at the basket. That's what you saw him do in games 4, 5, and 6 of the finals last year. It all comes down to Draymond looking at the basket too for the Warriors. When he's a threat offensively, changes everything. 11 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, just 1 assist away from a triple-double. Man, that would have been one of his most complete playoff games ever, in my opinion. And that's saying a lot because he has had some great ones. 50% shooting for him, 5 for 10, only 1 3-point attempt. He was 1 for 4 from the line, though. Only in 28 minutes. He killed it. He killed it. How about Klay Thompson? Just amazing. 11 for 18 from the field, 8 for 11 from deep. I mean, he just wasn't missing. A lot of transition threes, a lot of threes coming off screens. His movement off the ball is just unreal. 30 points, 3 rebounds, not much of any other category, but you'll take it, man. I thought his defense was pretty solid too. Did a good job against Reeves and a decent job against D'Lo when he had to guard either of them. Off to a solid start this series. I mean, he didn't shoot very well in the last game, but let's see, he shot, 36%? Yeah, he didn't shoot very well in the last game, but he was pretty aggressive. 25 points in the first, 30 in the second, so is that averaging 27.5 points for the series? Pretty good to start for Klay. And then Steph Curry. What a complete game for him. 20 points, 12 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 turnovers. A little Chris Paul or Magic Johnson. Magic would have more rebounds. But Chris Paul kind of stat line. 7 for 12 from the field, 3 for 5 from deep, 3 for 3 from the line. Incredibly efficient. The way he was navigating those screens, using hesitations and changes of pace. Both Klay and Steph changes of pace to keep the drop defender or the guy who was putting the action on their heels and just making them think. And Steph's pocket passing was so good. So many hockey assists, manipulating the defense. And we got to give a lot of credit to Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr outcoached Darvin Ham tonight. He made his adjustments, had JaMychal Green in there, only kept one big in that could shoot, of course. I'm sorry, one big that couldn't shoot in, of course. A lot more Steph Curry on the ball, which I think is, it's always down to Steph. He's going to make the decision. What he wants to do, have the ball. And, Jared Vanderbilt, his full court pressure, when you're not pressuring Steph and he gets a ball screen 50 feet out and you're going over the top and you're not connected to him, if he's coming off with no resistance, now he has all the space to make the pass. Whoever the big is, whether it's AD or whether it's LeBron that's putting the action, they need to step up. And when Draymond gets the ball on the move, going downhill with all the space in the world, you are screwed. And that's when a couple of times he's making some really good reads, whether it be the corner guy or dumping it off to the guy in the dunker, whether it be Wiggins or Looney. Not Looney. I don't think they played together tonight. Wiggins. They did at one point, I believe. I'm pretty sure I remember Draymond dumping it off to Looney at one point of the game on a pump fake where AD bit. But just great stuff. Great adjustments for the Warriors overall. Doing, a lot of their actions in the middle of the floor off the ball with Klay and Steph. They were still able to mix in some motion. It wasn't just like they were just doing strictly pick and roll. So credit to the Warriors for really mixing it up. And no Gary Payton minutes, I don't believe, in this game either. Yeah, no Gary Payton. 9 minutes. Were those all at the end? I don't really remember him playing in the first half. Let me double check that. But anyway, the Warriors beat the Lakers 127-100. But the Lakers took care of business overall, even though you did not do what you came to do in terms of the second game. You didn't put any pressure on them to win the game. They rested their starters the whole fourth quarter. Now, granted, so did the Lakers, but when you rest them in a win, it means a lot more. So credit to them. Yeah, I don't remember Gary Payton getting in the first half. Don't believe he did. So that was an adjustment too, and it's because he hadn't shot well. So credit to Steve Kerr for making his adjustments, and now we'll see how the Lakers respond. Also, as I said, Draymond Green on Anthony Davis. Now let's move on to the Celtics and the Sixers. So in this game, funny enough, I thought the Celtics blew them out from the start to finish, but that wasn't the case. The Sixers started out decently with James Harden. I wanted to see what adjustment the Celtics made. You knew they weren't going to go drop coverage. A lot more switching. And I have to say this, Al Horford did a much better job this time, and the Celtics did a really good job scrambling. In the beginning, the Sixers got a couple of shots made, especially with Maxey, who was awesome in transition and really good hitting the three ball. But overall, the Celtics closed the first quarter well. led by Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, who was just, you could see the look in his eye. He was not to be denied. Really good on-ball defense on Harden from start to finish and attacking the basket, hitting the three ball, looking for his shot. But I have to say, we saw the return of Joel Embiid, the MVP. I haven't talked about that on an episode, but congrats to Embiid. Thoroughly deserved. I thought he should have won last year, but I had no problems with Jokic winning it. However, I see his case over Jokic because of how much better defense he plays. But over Giannis in the regular season, I don't really get it personally because Giannis' stats were better and the record, I think both of their teams' records were pretty good without either, honestly. But Giannis' team was the first seed, and his defense is just as good, if not better. Embiid's more skilled, but the stats don't say that. And Giannis hasn't had a fully healthy Middleton all season. I didn't see the case for Embiid over Giannis, but it just felt like, and this is not to hate, but it felt like to me, it's Embiid's turn. And I did not think the vote was going to be that lopsided. It was like 72-15 to 10. That's a lot. I thought it was one of the closest races of my life. I didn't know who was the MVP. I thought all three of them were deserving. I mean, what Jokic did was insane. But, there were some really weird things about the MVP race this year. Saying that Jokic winning the third MVP while the other guys did it when they had rings. Wilt, Larry, and Bill. And also when Kendrick Perkins brought race into it. That made it very controversial. So congrats to Embiid. It was a weird MVP race. Probably the most competitive of my life. Not my life, but of my time watching basketball. 06 was pretty good, though. But this is the first time where I was not really clear on my choice. Last year, I was fairly clear on my choice. And it was the first time in my time watching basketball besides 06 that I didn't get my choice. But congrats to Embiid. He didn't play well, though. He was completely rusty. And Grant Williams played a lot more minutes in this game, not Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser was getting targeted in the action a lot in game one. You saw Grant Williams play to guard Embiid and have, his strength out there. And Embiid wasn't getting whatever he wanted. And it wasn't just single coverage, obviously. Celtics loaded up on him, double teamed him, threw multiple looks at him. But there were times where it was Marcus Smart one-on-one in the post or against him at the foul line. And other times Grant Williams, they did a great job of pulling the chair, just standing their ground, making him turn. And Embiid was losing his balance left and right. It just did not look like him. He was holding the ball too long. And the longer the game went on, the Celtics, their desperation, very similar to the Warriors tonight. Their desperation, you could see it in their effort, in their, going for loose balls, in Jaylen Brown's attacking the basket. And in this one, the Celtics shot 39% from three. They shot a lot more threes than last game, 20 for 51. So they got him up there. Sixers were 6 for 30, just 20% and 39% from the field. So as I said, after the first quarter, it was just 28-22, Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown leading a 10-4 run to end the quarter. Second quarter, only 29-27. So they were up 57 to 49 at halftime. The Celtics were. And in the third quarter, they blew it open, winning that quarter 35-16. Malcolm Brogdon, another very, very solid game off the bench, to say the least. Good on both ends of the floor, hitting his open shots. And I have to say the Sixers were pathetic as well. They didn't make their life tough at all. They didn't make their lives tough at all. They let them get an easy dub where they got to chill in the fourth quarter. Same thing as the Lakers. No good. That's not good for momentum. Brogdon, 23 points and 6 boards on 7 for 15 shooting, 6 for 10 from deep. Jesus Christ. He was feeling it. And Grant Williams, 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists on 4 for 8 shooting. All his shots were threes. So if Grant Williams can go back to shooting that well from three again like he was last year in the playoffs, because his defense is good. The starters, Al Horford only shot 2 for 10, but I thought he had a really good defensive game, 5.7 rebounds. They were switching him on to even guys like Harden more so, and he was more so than game one, and he was holding his own. Jayson Tatum, only 19 minutes, shot terribly, 1 for 7, but you know what? He was letting the other guys eat, and I respect that. He realized he didn't have it. He let them eat, and he still played defense. He was a plus 24, which was the highest of anybody in the entire game. So it's not coincidence. But he only played 19 minutes. However, that's why plus minus is bogus. He didn't play the best of any Celtic just because of that. You know who did play great, though? Marcus Smart and Derek White. each with 15 points. Derek White was 5 for 9 from the field and 3 for 6 from deep. Marcus Smart was 7 for 14 from the field, only 1 for 4 from deep, doing a really good job hitting those floaters, hitting the in-between game, getting to the basket. Marcus Smart, really solid performance overall. But Jaylen Brown, for me, led the way. He's been really good in these playoffs. 25 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists on 9 for 17 shooting and 3 for 6 from deep, 4 of 4 from the line. The Celtics only 6 turnovers, so did a much better job taking care of the ball. That was a huge difference because they won it 121-87. They had 26 assists to the Sixers 13. And yeah, that was it. They led by as many as 36 in the game. They won by 34 to tie the series at 1. As for the Sixers, Joel Embiid, 4 for 9 from the field, 15 points in just 27 minutes. He was awful in my opinion, even though he had good defensive plays, 5 blocks. Tobias Harris, 16 points, 7 boards on 7 for 12 shooting and 2 for 5 from 3. So he continues to have very efficient games. James Harden, though, 12 and 10 rebounds, but 2 for 14 from the field and 0 for 6 from deep. He just didn't have it, and the Sixers got nothing from the bench. Niang, 1 for 4. McDaniels, 1 for 4. Reed was, 6 points, 8 boards. He wasn't bad. Maxey started out good, but 13 points on 6 for 14 from the field and 1 for 4 from deep. Just wasn't their game. They got completely outworked, out-hustled, out-fought. Celtics were the better team. I think they are the better team, and they played with a sense of desperation, and they tie the series at 1. Now, I'm done for the night. I'm going to go to the live subscribers waiting patiently in the chat. Super chats are turned on if they want to drop $1 or a dime. Only 18 people. This has been the most, I don't want to say empty, but lowest attendance for live in the last couple of weeks. Laker fans in the mud tonight, I guess, and no Clipper fans really care anymore, it seems. And I don't think I have as many Warrior fans as I thought maybe. I don't know. But big wins for the Celtics and the Warriors to tie the series. The Sixers and the Lakers did not come out and make life tough at all. But we will be live. Actually, I don't know. Tomorrow's a Friday night. I don't think I'm going to be live at Cinco de Mayo. Tough. That's tough. Well, Saturday, I think we'll probably be live on Saturday. We'll just do all of them on Saturday. How about that? Peace out, y'all. Now to the live subscribers waiting patiently in the chat. Super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 or a dime. Peace. What's up, y'all? By the way, I'm going to throw the link in there if any of you guys want to come on and talk. So, let's see what you got. I'm going to be on until 12:30. So I got to still record Locked On. I'm trying to do it every single day, so just make more money. Let's read the comments. Anthony Davis acts like he's LeBron's age. Jermichael Green was very solid tonight. Definitely one of my favorite Clipper role players. Dante played well today for the most part. JP, on the other hand. Lakers should play Rui more, mid-range god. What's up, Buzzsaw? Do I know you, Buzzsaw? What's up, D? Embarrassing blowout. Domio said Klay dropped AR off something terrible. BC said AR is really struggling with the motion. This will be a good learning experience for him. Yeah, it's facts. MV Pity. Jeez. Only 15 people. Damn, everyone's hiding. I most certainly am not hiding. I'm just exhausted, so I just got up from a nap. I played ball yesterday, and my body's feeling shot. Tough loss, though, but I'm glad the Lakers at least got one win on the road. I'll worry if the Lakers lose the game at home. It was just lemonade, June 28th, July. As soon as the Lakers win, they'll be back. Yeah, probably. Nobody wants to hop on. Maybe I'll post on Twitter. Let's see. Let's tweet it. Why wasn't AD aggressive tonight, Mr. Winters? I mean, that's what separates the greats from the GOATs, as I say. I think AD's a great, but he's not a GOAT. You got to be aggressive every single game. He doesn't have that. That's that. I don't want to say that. I'm going to use the words, the killer instinct, man. Got to be relentless. You know what I'm saying? Every single game. AD is not that kind of guy. Super chats, turn on if you want to drop $1 or a dime. Me. Wow, no more questions? Really? Man, we need those 100 wins, 100 view lives. Maybe I ought to go live a little bit earlier too. That's part of it. But man, if the Lakers get eliminated, are my lives just gonna be trash for the rest of the year? Uh-oh. Don't make me start rooting for the Lakers now. All right. Seems like nobody wants to come on. So, I may have to catch you guys later. All right, guys. This is insane. Really, none of you guys want to get on? I'm going to post the link one more time. No, this is the 2014 shirt, Alfonso, against the Grizzlies. I'm sorry, against the Warriors. Against the Warriors. They give the same shirt every game for this one. I prefer the new Clippers logo. The Dojo logo, I fucking hate it, to be honest. Oh, I should have gone to Boston. What was I doing? Do you have the We Believe gear still? I'm not a Warriors fan. What you mean? Nobody wants to come talk. That's very sad. Nice. Well, I'm tired. No one's got anything. Blake Griffin could get a. Oh, let me see. These playoffs ain't the same without the Clippers, to be honest. I feel you. Blake Griffin could get a ring. Oh, shit. That was Golden State. My bad. Body's shot, and I was just outside, and it's hot here in Tokyo. You guys in Cali are lucky. It's dry heat. Here it's humid, so it's a combination of being sore from yesterday and humidity for me. Yeah, next time I'll hopefully have some energy, and then I may be able to talk. Fair enough. Humidity's the worst. Yeah. I'm about to get off, to be honest. All right, y'all. Make sure you comment on this video because for whatever reason, the algorithm is not doing me. Oh. What's up, man?
Hello.
Hello?
You listening to me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Because I was listening to you both on YouTube and here, so yeah, whatever. Hello.
Appreciate you coming on, man. What are your thoughts on the game? You're a Warriors fan.
Yeah, I'm a Warriors fan. The Lakers can't defend the pick and roll that way. Because the thing is, they weren't just trapping Curry. They was also sagging off shooters so they can protect the rim. And that's not a good strategy against the Warriors because they got 21 trees in their head back-to-back games now. And the other thing is, I don't think the Warriors can play two bigs at the same time in this series if they want to score at all against the Lakers. Because if you have one other guy, and I include GP2 in that, like if you have one other non-shooter, and you just bail them out. You allow them to sag off, have either AD or LeBron, the one that's not guarding the the pick and roll, just standing under the rim, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then you can't score in the rim. And if the Warriors can't score in the rim, it becomes just like prey for Steph and Klay to get hot. And of course, they're Steph and Klay, so they can get hot, but that's no guarantee. The Warriors thrive when they can generate easy shots at the rim because of their shooting, not the other way around. So yeah, that's my take. And Draymond can guard AD in the end of the day.
How do you defend it if you're the Lakers?
Well, usually what happens is you kind of soft trap. You don't really commit to the trap all the way, and you do enough to get Curry to give the ball up, but you don't do as much as the Lakers were doing today. Like the Kings, they got the screen into the level of the screen, but they didn't double Curry flat out. So they could contain the Draymond drive and kick or lob. That's why they were successful. And the reason why Steph was able to score in Game 7 was mainly because he just attacked one-on-one or rejected a lot of screens. Because the Lakers need to be able to contain the drive when Draymond has the ball in the short roll. And to do that, they can't double Steph hard. That's the main dance. But then, of course, he's Steph Curry. So
Well, if you don't
it's been 9 years and nobody has been able to really figure out how to defend that pick and roll.
Definitely not. I mean, if you don't do a good enough job getting over the screens, though, that puts AD in a tough position because now he's really having to guard two people at once. You have to be able to. The thing the Lakers did pretty well the first game was they got over the screens pretty well. So then AD didn't have to commit as hard coming off the.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And the other thing is the Lakers need to figure out how they're going to play Vando, LeBron, and AD at the same time. Because, Vando is the only guy that can really bother Steph and the Lakers. But if they play, three guys that the Warriors can stag off of.
I think Shooter may have done a better job than Vando.
Oh, Shooter is he's good. He's quick. And he has the ability to navigate screens very well, but he's small. Curry usually struggles more against guys that are big and can really bother his shot. He can shoot over Vando at this point of his career. Vando is just too big and he's really strong, really, really fast. The problem is you have 3 non-shooters in the other side of the court if you play him a lot.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see what the Lakers do. It really all comes down to how Anthony Davis plays. But guarding that Steph pick and roll with Draymond, it's very tough. You got to do a good enough job getting over screens so you can stay in that soft drop that worked for them in first game. But
yeah, and AD needs to, and that's the thing about AD. On offense, he's a really good player, but he doesn't have the juice to just take Draymond one-on-one in the mid-post and get efficient shots. That's not his game. He needs ball movement. He needs to get rolling. He needs to get open mid-range shots. And just putting AD in the block against Draymond, that's not a good – it might work, but that's not good offense.
Yeah, well, it all depends on how decisive AD is being. When he's really attacking the basket, kind of get hitting some jump hooks, hitting those little – sometimes when he gets hot, he hits some turnarounds. His mid-range, though, is so inconsistent these days. It's not like it was in New Orleans. Or even in – I know 2020 they said the stats, but in the regular season it felt like he was still hitting it. The defense played him like he was hitting it. Now it seems like the defense will give him any sort of jump shot. But –
oh, yeah, for sure.
Question.
And
go ahead.
No, you can say.
What does Embiid have to do June 28th, July? Well, I think he needs to catch the ball a little bit deeper, closer to the basket. One of the things I've had a problem with Embiid is he catches the ball very high. Now, he says he's been loving catching the ball at the foul line at that nail all season long, but I think he was still getting pushed further out of that. And the more he faces up and tries to take these smaller guys that are quicker off the dribble, the small, strong guys like Grant Williams or Marcus Smart, I think he's doing himself a disservice. You still got to be a big. That's how Jokic dominates these smaller guys. Back to the basket, footwork, jump hook, turnaround. Embiid has it in his bag. It's a matter of how aggressive he wants to be, but his injuries always put a halt to that.
Yeah, the weird stuff about Embiid and Jokic is that Jokic plays way more down low,
Yeah.
like a real traditional big.
Yep.
Embiid Embiid might be a better shooter than Jokic at this point in his career.
Mid-range, I think he is.
Yeah, so that's funny because we don't, obviously, for other reasons, we don't picture that. But the thing about Jokic is his post ups, like near the basket. I think he's the most efficient play in basketball for the last like 3-4 years. Is it a Jokic post up? Like, he's really good at it.
Doesn't surprise me. He's got a great bag, good footwork, great touch. But yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight, probably, guys. It's almost 12:30 here in Los Angeles. Where are you coming from, man?
It's 4:30 in my country right now. I'm from Brazil.
Well, that's amazing. You live there right now?
Yeah, I'm living in Brazil, but I've been living in California time zone for 9 years now, for 10 years actually, since 2013 when I started watching the Warriors. So
Where'd you live?
I live in Rio de Janeiro.
Right now you live in Rio?
Yeah.
Man,
Actually, I live in Niterói, which is in the other side of the bay, but I just say I live in Rio because people know Rio.
What city was it when you were on the same time zone as California time zone?
No, I was never. I was always in Rio, but I lived in the California time zones because of the Warriors. Like, I always watched Warriors games, and so.
That's awesome, man. I've always wanted to go to Brazil really bad.
Yeah, it's a fun place. If you ever come, hit me up. So yeah,
yes, sir. All right, guys. Make sure to comment on today's video. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game and the series. As always, I probably won't be live tomorrow night, but Saturday will be. And yeah, comment on the video for the algorithm. Peace.